Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the Brickazoid's Den. Today, I am super excited to be talking about the brand new show that came out today, the Cuphead Show. Like I said, it came out today, and it was a lot of fun. I actually sat down and watched all 2 hours and 11 minutes of it, and just binge watched the whole season of 12 episodes. And again, it was a lot of fun. It was very goofy, very simple, but it was effective. It was fun. And it was a lot of the slapstick comedy and stuff like that. But the stories were nice. They're very, simple little 10, 11 minute storylines, which were really, really fun to watch. That's the best way to describe it. This show was just a lot of fun. It had some really fun callbacks and things like that to the game. There was a lot of references. I know there was a ghost character from the Ghost Train. There was the 8 ball on the Devil's Carn-Evil tent, and all these different references were a lot of fun. They were just straight from the game, as well as the intro song was really, really well done, and the intro itself was really awesome. It was really well animated, and just the song itself, as a lot of the Cuphead songs that they do to kind of promote the games as well as the show have been really, really good, and this is another example of that. This intro song is really, really good. The title cards as well, the title cards for each episode were just really, really well done, and the credits were cool too. It feels like a kind of classical cartoon, and as well, in a few of the episodes, I noticed there was some real life. It seemed like it was a real life model with just the animated characters walking on it, which was pretty cool to see. And I have some of them listed out in the episodes that I saw them, and I don't know if I missed any. I may have, but either way, I am excited to get into kind of a breakdown of each episode, and then at the end, I'll kind of give my overall thoughts on the show. Hopefully, this video won't be too long. So, for episode 1 of the Cuphead Show, we have Carn-Evil. Of course, that's a play on Carnival. So, basically, we start off the episode here with Elder Kettle, of course, Cuphead and Mugman's guardian, taking care of them and making them some pancakes for the morning. So, Elder Kettle, makes Cuphead and Mugman paint the fence. That's their chore for the day. And Cuphead and Mugman, they're kind of tired of doing chores. So they decide that they're going to head to Porkrind's Emporium, but when they get there, they see a sign for the carnival. So they go there instead. There's a bunch of shots and different scenes of Cuphead and Mugman enjoying the carnival and things like that. And Cuphead gets drawn over to a game called Soul Ball, a take on Skee Ball. And he keeps winning. Just like in the beginning of the game where he kept winning or was on a hot streak at the craps table, now he is winning this game, Soul Ball. So Mugman's kind of looking around, he's supporting Cuphead and everything, and he decides to look around the carnival a little bit and notices what would happen if you lose Soul Ball. And if you lose Soul Ball, you lose your soul to the devil. And, then he looks up at the carnival sign and sees that it spells out Carn-Evil, not Carnival, which I believe we saw that scene in the trailer. So under the carnival, like I said, is the devil, who is collecting the souls of the losers of the games at the carnival. He breaks out into song. I don't know what the song was called, but I just put that in my notes that he broke out into a nice little song about who he is. But as he is singing his song, his henchman tells him that his soul counter has stopped moving, and he goes to check out what's going on. He sees that the carnival is completely empty except for all of the customers crowded around Cuphead, who is winning at Soul Ball, and everybody's pretty impressed with that. So then the devil decides to make himself known, and he shows up, and everybody freaks out and runs away from him. And he wants to just have a chat with Cuphead and Mugman about their winning streak here. So Mugman hits Cuphead, causing Cuphead to throw the ball wrong, which goes into the loser's pit, or loser's spot on the board, and Cuphead's soul begins to be taken from his body, but Mugman quickly saves his soul from the machine, and there's this awesome chase scene between Cuphead and Mugman getting chased from by the devil, and they walk into this clown tent that the devil turns into a devil tent, and it's all these wacky stuff. It was a very fun looking chase scene that I really enjoyed watching, just really well done. And then finally the devil corners Cuphead and Mugman by the Soul Ball machine. Cuphead and Mugman cause the devil to shoot his flaming trident or staff or whatever you want to call it at the Soul Ball game machine, causing the machine to explode and all the souls to be let free. Cuphead and Mugman quickly escape, and the final shot or whatever is Cuphead and Mugman finally fixing that fence from the beginning of the episode. These are going pretty quick, which is good because I don't want this video to be too long, but this is kind of like the style that I'm thinking of doing here, is just kind of having these very quick episode breakdowns and then kind of talking about the episode. So but that's what we'll do for the remaining 11 episodes as well. But overall, this was a really, really fun episode. Great premiere, great start to the season, and great start to the show as well. And it introduced us to the devil, who's of course a main character, well, not a main character, but a prominent character in this show. Got a little bit of Elder Kettle in this episode as well. And then, of course, giving us the dynamic between Cuphead and Mugman. So overall, very good premiere. Next, we have probably my least favorite episode of the season 1 of Cuphead, the Cuphead Show. And I say season 1 for a reason. You'll have to stay tuned for the end of the video to see why I say season 1. But yeah, this is probably my least favorite episode of this season. And this episode is episode 2, of course, which is called Baby Bottle. And basically we start with Elder Kettle, who leaves Cuphead and Mugman at home alone. He has to go take care of some business. And Cuphead and Mugman get into a fight. Playful fight. It's not like them being angry at each other or anything like that. They're brothers. They fight. So while Cuphead and Mugman are fighting, some anonymous person, knocks on their door. And this someone left a baby for Cuphead and Mugman to take care of. The baby seems to like Mugman a lot, but Cuphead not so much. And the baby starts crying because of it. The baby begins running around and causing all this trouble for Cuphead because Mugman decides to leave them two alone to get, acclimated to each other or something like that. I don't know. So the baby ends up destroying all of, Elder Kettle's house and pushes the fishbowl over and things like that. He escapes outside. Cuphead and Mugman chase him out there to go get him. And then it turns out the baby actually never escaped outside and ends up locking Cuphead and Mugman outside, leaving him inside to just continue to destroy the house more. So Cuphead and Mugman hear that the baby is messing with Elder Kettle's most prized possession, his radio. And they burst through the door, they punch it down, whatever, they kick it down, whatever they did, I forget. And they see, of course, the baby attacking the Elder Kettle's radio. Mugman quickly grabs the baby off of the radio and gives the baby his childhood teddy bear, which the baby destroys, and then begins destroying the house once again. Elder Kettle walks in and sees that his whole house is destroyed, as well as his radio. Poor Elder Kettle. And the baby then attacks Elder Kettle. So this baby is just a big problem. As Mugman, I think, said, Mugman and Cuphead said in the episode, this baby is evil. So Elder Kettle, Cuphead, and Mugman work together to try and, fight this baby and something like that. But when they get out into the living room where the baby is actually asleep. So Elder Kettle, Cuphead, and Mugman drop the baby off to someone else's home so they don't have to deal with it anymore. Smart move. That baby was evil. But yeah, I don't know. This episode, it was entertaining. It was entertaining, but it was not. It was probably my least favorite of the episodes. Probably the least entertaining. Which is a shame because this is the start of the season, but it's okay. It gets much, much better from this episode here. I don't know. Not my favorite. Not my favorite at all. But that's okay. We'll move on to episode 3. Next up, we have a pretty cool episode with some characters, some not iconic characters, but some notable characters from the game. And these characters being, as well as the episode title, Ribby and Croaks, which were the villains of Clip Joint Calamity level of Cuphead, the boss fight there, where we have two frogs who are boxers, and they have, they have some weird stuff. They turned a slot machine at the end of the third phase of the boss. It was pretty wild, but nevertheless, very fun. And here we go into the episode. So we start off with Elder Kettle, who breaks apart a fight between Cuphead and Mugman. They're fighting about, I believe Mugman's sleep ate Cuphead's ice cream, I think it was. And Elder Kettle wants Cuphead and Mugman to go have fun together because they are brothers and just kind of make up for what they did. So Cuphead and Mugman come upon the flytrap boat while walking outside to go find something to do, and this flytrap boat / club is run by Ribby and Croaks, of course. So Ribby and Croaks tell their story They used to be boxers and now own a club. Of course, we saw them as boxers actually in the Cuphead game. So Cuphead and Mugman aren't allowed on the boat because they only have $5 and it costs $20 to get in. Although Ribby, I guess Ribby and Croaks, they can go as a pair here. Ribby and Croaks do steal Cuphead's money before kicking them out. So Cuphead and Mugman find a way to sneak onto the boat and sneak through the ventilation to get to the free ice cream with entry, as the sign said previously when they talked to Ribby and Croaks. So Ribby and Croaks do like this whole like little song, little duet about their mother, who they previously had talked about when talking with Cuphead and Mugman. Their mother was everything to them, and she like got them started with everything, but she hated to see them be boxers. She hated to see them fight. So that's why they decided to open up a club instead, and they decided to sing about her. So while singing, Cuphead and Mugman have a little fight in the vents, and Ribby and Croaks notice. Cuphead and Mugman then escape through the vents and end up in the meat locker, the frozen meat locker, and become frozen themselves as well. So then the butcher brings them out to defrost, and while they defrost, they see a fight between the butcher and like his wife or something like that. I don't remember, but that was an interesting scene. But Cuphead and Mugman are able to defrost and escape out of the kitchen and into like this main room, and they see the free ice cream fountain, which is super exciting to them, of course, because that's their whole goal. They want the ice cream. So they get super close, but Ribby and Croaks chase or stop them and chase after them. And this, once again, a very nice chase scene with the Ribby and Croaks fight music or boss fight music from the actual game, which was really cool. That thing that I noticed. So Ribby and Croaks are kind of showing their true colors here to their guests in this chase scene as they're destroying and they're fighting with each other and they're destroying their own boat, and they keep punching punching the walls of the boat, sinking it, and again they destroy their own boat. So Ribby and Croaks hears Cuphead and Mugman apologize to each other, and Ribby and Croaks decide to make up too, because they were always fighting, because they were boxers. So the boat sinks. Ribby and Croaks quickly go back to fighting after they got this little lesson from Cuphead and Mugman, but Cuphead and Mugman make up and decide to eat their free ice cream that survived the sinking together. So yeah, that was really great episode. Loved to hear that Ribby and Croaks music, as well as seeing Ribby and Croaks in the show, because I remember seeing the trailer and being like, oh man, I cannot wait for their episode. And I'm glad it was early, because this was a pretty good episode. Not my favorite, which I actually thought it was going to be my favorite, but no, it was not my favorite. It was still really good though. So we'll move on to episode 4. Next up, we have episode 4. This one I wasn't too crazy about, very similar to the baby bottle episode, but this one wasn't actually terrible. So this episode is called Handle with Care. So we basically open up to Cuphead and Mugman having a blindfolded pillow fight. You already know, I think, where this is going. Something bad is going to happen here. While having this blindfolded pillow fight, Cuphead breaks Mugman's cup handle. Hence why the episode's called Handle with Care. So Cuphead tries to fix it, tries to fix Mugman's handle, but is unsuccessful. Mugman, God, I can't speak. I can't say it. I'm trying to add an S in there. I don't know why. Mugman gets kind of like depressed and sad about his broken handle, and Cuphead's like, oh no, don't worry, no one's gonna notice. But Elder Kettle notices and freaks out, because I guess in this Cuphead universe, it's weird or gross to have a broken, missing handle or something like that. I don't know how that works, but anyways, of course, Elder Kettle notices Mugman's missing broken handle and freaks out. So then Mugman decides to dress up as a bride, like a wedding bride, to go outside, that rhymes, so nobody has to see his broken handle, so that they can go down to Pork Rinds Emporium and get some glue to fix Mugman's handle. This disguise that Mugman created doesn't really work out too well because of the winds, and everybody and all like the public kind of freaks out over Mugman's missing handle. Cuphead and Mugman finally make their way to Pork Rinds Emporium, who goes off, and Pork Rind himself goes off to go find the glue for them. Meanwhile, Cuphead tries to convince Mugman that maybe getting a different kind of handle would be the proper way to go, instead of just sticking with the same old. But in the end, Mugman decides that the same old is best for him. Pork Rind, sadly, is out of glue and won't get a shipment in for 3 months, and Mugman can't live like that. So Mugman becomes depressed once again, and Elder Kettle decides that he'll have a chat with Mugman about losing his baby handle, and now he needs to get his man handle. This is like a Cuphead puberty talk, which is funny. And basically, Elder Kettle does like this little flashback to a baby Elder Kettle about losing his baby handle and having the handle maker or something like that come in and give him his man handle. I still think that's funny. So Mugman is now going to get his man handle, and Cuphead decides, okay, I want one too. So Cuphead destroys his baby handle on a wall so he can get his man handle too, so he can be like his brother Mugman. Cuphead and Mugman go to bed, and they wake up with their quote-unquote man handles, but it was really Elder Kettle who just glued both of their baby handles back on to their cups, I guess. So that whole story was a fake, but hey, it made Mugman feel better, so that works. And that was episode 4. Overall, kind of uneventful, I guess you could say. Maybe that's why I'm not too crazy about it compared to some of the other great episodes in here. But it's still not as bad, I think, as episode 2. But episode 2, again, wasn't terrible, just not my kind of style of an episode. Next up, we have episode 5, which is Roll the Dice. And I am super excited to be talking about this episode because this one was a really good one. Still not my favorite. Well, actually, it's my favorite. It might be my favorite, actually. Roll the Dice. I don't know. I have a lot of favorites from this season because I really, really liked this show. So this could be one of my favorites, I guess. So Roll the Dice is one of my favorites. Basically, we start off with Cuphead and Mugman are playing with Elder Kettle's favorite tire, which rolls away as King Dice has his little radio show going on. And King Dice, so we kind of, basically we cut to King Dice's show, like the set of King Dice's radio show. And King Dice chooses this telephone guy to play his game, his radio show game, Roll the Dice, where you kind of answer what a song is, so that you have to answer some trivia, and then you have to roll the dice to get the super mystery prize or enter the mystery prize room. So this telephone guy, he is chosen from the audience to play Roll the Dice, and he wins, and now he gets to go to the mystery prize room. But we quickly learn that the mystery prize room is a ploy to get for the devil, made by the devil, to take souls from the people of the Inkwell Isles. So, Cuphead and Mugman, of course, roll right in to King Dice's show, Roll the Dice, while also we see that Cuphead is wanted by the devil by a poster on the wall. So, King Dice notices this, and Cuphead is then quickly chosen to play Roll the Dice. Next, King Dice calls the devil on his phone to tell him that he has Cuphead. So the devil's like, "Oh man, you better not fail, because I've been needing Cuphead. He's wanted by me." So King Dice tries to get Cuphead to go to the mystery prize room so that Cuphead's soul can be taken from him. Which is kind of a dark thing as I say it so calmly, but anyways. Basically, Cuphead plays Roll the Dice, and he fails to answer any questions correctly, but King Dice kind of starts to cheat the system a little bit, so Cuphead can win, so that his soul can be taken by the devil. King Dice quickly becomes frustrated with Cuphead, who just constantly messes up, he can't get his trivia right, he can't get the song right, and is losing the game, basically. If you lose the game, you don't get the mystery prize room, which means you don't get your soul taken. So, King Dice, cheats the system again, like I said, to get Cuphead to the final challenge, which is to roll the dice. And of course, knowing Cuphead goes to roll the dice, and it destroys the dice machine that rolls, and the dice fall and break. So, what are you going to do now? So basically, King Dice just wants Cuphead to win so he can get taken by the devil, and decides that he, pushes Cuphead to the mystery prize room door. But before Cuphead can enter, the audience says that the game is rigged. They're all thinking hey, he lost. The game is rigged. You can't do that, Mr. King Dice. So, Cuphead and Mugman decide to leave this game because, well, it is rigged. They believe it too. This game is rigged. They don't want to play it anymore, so they decide to leave. King Dice now has to meet with the devil about his failure to capture Cuphead, and his consequences for, well, not catching Cuphead is that he is no longer the devil's number one right-hand man, and he loses out on being the host of his own show, Roll the Dice. So the devil decides that he'll use his henchman to be the host of the Roll the Dice show so he can continue collecting souls from the game. And that's about it for this episode 5 here. I don't know. This one was a really, really great episode, and I really enjoyed it. It was a lot of fun. Definitely one of my favorites, as I said in the beginning. And we'll move on to episode 6. Now we are moving on to episode 6, which is another one of my favorite episodes, and this episode is called Ghosts Ain't Real. This episode's a lot of fun. I like this one a lot. So Cuphead and Mugman, we basically start off. Cuphead and Mugman have to take a shortcut through the creepy cemetery to get home before dark after watching a scary movie. Now, Mugman is a bit, he's a bit of a scaredy cat in this situation versus Cuphead, who's a little bit more laid back. So, Cuphead and Mugman decide to take this scary shortcut, and what I noticed here is that there's this is the first time I noticed this. I was talking about this in the beginning of the video here. It's like a real-life model, it looks like, mixed with the animation of the show. So Cuphead and Mugman were animated, of course, walking on like a real-looking model, like a little mini model pathway, which I thought was a really cool look. I really liked that. It was a lot of fun to notice. So Cuphead and Mugman are kind of getting freaked out about this place as they go along. They're like, oh man, this is kind of a creepy place. It's a cemetery at night. That's freaky. So a group of ghosts over here see Cuphead and Mugman and decide that they want to play a few tricks on him and give him a bit of a scare, I guess. So Cuphead and Mugman become trapped in this cemetery and have to stay the night. Cuphead and Mugman decide that they are going to have to separate so that Cuphead can grab firewood and Mugman can stay back. And I don't remember actually what Mugman was supposed to do. But anyways, Cuphead, while getting the firewood, is scared by 2 of the 3 ghosts, a part of this little group there. And he gets scared, while trying to get firewood, so then he runs away. Mugman, meanwhile, gets freaked out by the other ghost and runs into the forest as well. Cuphead and Mugman run directly into each other, bump heads, and now they are being chased by the 3 ghosts who make themselves known, and there is a wonderful musical number that goes along with this. It was a lot of fun to listen to. Cuphead and Mugman continue running, and they run into a mausoleum and are greeted by dancing skeletons, which is not the best thing to look at, or not the best thing to see when you're being chased by ghosts, real-life skeletons. That's another scary thing. So Cuphead and Mugman continue to get chased by these bunches of ghosts outside as more of them show up from the cemetery, and Cuphead and Mugman run into this house on the top of the hill of the graveyard, run up the stairs as fast as they can, with the ghosts showing up, showing them doors as exits, quote unquote exits, but they are really just more scares for Cuphead and Mugman. So Cuphead and Mugman burst through this glass clock and fall all the way to the ground as the ghosts float down, thinking that Cuphead and Mugman actually died. And it kind of looked like that for a second. I'm like, wow, that's kind of dark. So Cuphead and Mugman escape to from the house, looking kind of roughed up. And Elder Kettle, and when they enter Elder Kettle's house, Elder Kettle thinks that Cuphead and Mugman are zombies. So it was overall a really fun episode. Another fun episode, just like Roll the Dice. A little bit dark with that whole Cuphead and Mugman are dead scene, but I really liked that real life model mixed with the show's animation, and I liked these ghost characters. They were a lot of fun to follow, as well as, Cuphead and Mugman being scaredy cats. That was a lot of fun to see. Next, we have episode 7 with some more notable characters from the actual video game, and this episode is called Root Pact. This episode felt a little bit shorter than the other ones. I don't know if it was just me, but I don't know. It felt a little short, but of course, this episode, Root Pact, involves the Root Pack, which are basically the bosses from the first level of the game. Kind of. It's kind of like the first level of the game, I guess. I count it as the first level, but what I noticed immediately, right off the bat, was that God, I can't speak. The episode actually used the Root Pack level music. So the actual boss fight level, they had music in the background, of course, and this episode used that music, which was cool to hear. So to start off, Elder Kettle does a little song about his vegetables, and while he is trying to carry this long note, he breaks his back. So that really sad start. So, Elder Kettle is down, and he's having to, lie in bed. He can't take care of his vegetables anymore, and Cuphead and Mugman decide that they'll take on that challenge. When originally Cuphead and Mugman wanted to just go see a picture show, Mugman guilt trips Cuphead into following through with their promise to Elder Kettle to take care of the vegetables instead of actually going to see this picture show wherever they were going. So while they are watching these vegetables and keeping an eye out on them, the root pack sneaks in and starts eating all of Cuphead and Mugman's soil. The root pack, really sketchy characters, they're very sketchy, tell Cuphead and Mugman that they'll take care of Elder Kettle's vegetables because they're vegetables too. So they send Cuphead and Mugman over to the picture show while they take care of the vegetables. Cuphead and Mugman return home to see the root pack have thrown a party at their own house. And this is another thing where I believe the background was a real life model, a real life background mixed with the animation. So I thought that was really cool as well. But yeah, the root pack are over here with all their vegetable friends or something throwing a party in Elder Kettle's garden, I guess. So Cuphead and Mugman try to take down or shut down this party, but they become unsuccessful. And the root pack's partygoers begin kind of destroying Elder Kettle's vegetables because they keep taking all the water from the ground for them to drink. So Cuphead and Mugman try to stop the root pack's party once again, and they eventually accept that they just can't do it. There's a whole montage of them doing different things that they could, or different things, so that the root pack could finally, and their partygoers could finally leave. But again, they accept that maybe they just can't stop this party. So Cuphead and Mugman see Ollie the Onion, which is, of course, the Onion character, who is someone who cries a lot. So Cuphead and Mugman try to guilt trip Ollie the Onion into crying, which happens just like the video game. The Ollie the Onion's abilities in the video game, or attack in the video game, is his tear stream. So Ollie the Onion cries and cries, and causing him to shed his skin or something like that. And of course, onions are known to make people cry. So this onion smell, or this whatever makes someone cry from cutting an onion, I don't know what it is, but this onion smell causes everybody to cry, and all the partygoers to cry, getting rid of all their water and replenishing the ground for Elder Kettle's vegetables. So all the partygoers leave, and now it's just the root pack, Cuphead, and Mugman. So the root pack take all of Cuphead and Mugman's, and Elder Kettle's, I guess, water from the ground all by themselves, and they become humongous. Elder Kettle gets up, of course at the worst time possible, and thinks that the root pack is his vegetables that have grown to be humongous. So Elder Kettle wants to use them for his stew, and after knowing that, the root pack get out of there real quick and run off scared. And that was really it for the episode. This one, again, was not a bad episode. It just felt a little bit short, but these episodes are generally fairly short, which is okay. And it was good to see the root pack characters again, because they were pretty notable, I would say, because they're, like I said, they're basically the first level of the game. At least in my opinion, they're basically the first level, because I know you can really choose where you want to go on the aisle, but that's usually one that I go for first whenever I play through that game. But, yeah, that was the root packed episode, and we'll move on to episode 8. Next episode on the list here is episode 8, which is called Sweater Off Dead. Of course, play on Better Off Dead, as well as meaning it literally with Sweater Off Dead. But this is a 2-part episode, even though it's not labeled a 2-part episode. It is. Episode 9 is the continuation. So I guess we'll get right into it. So what's interesting about this episode's beginning is that it is the exact same beginning scene as the first episode, Carn-Evil, Carn-Evil's beginning scene, where of the Cuphead show, whatever. But instead, it is changed, where it is a nightmare that Cuphead has about the devil getting him. So Cuphead wakes up, freaked out, and Mugman cannot take it anymore, and decides that Cuphead and Mugman are going to go and deal with the devil. The devil, meanwhile, is, in his underworld, and goes through his whole operation of these terrible things that he's orchestrating, like war and famine, as his workers kind of go over with him. And this worker that he has, named Stickler, reminds the devil about Cuphead, whose soul is still missing, while the devil just kind of wants to party and celebrate with all of his numbers going up or whatever in his underworld. I don't know. It was wacky. But meanwhile, Mugman takes Cuphead to Quadratus, who has seen all. This is Quadratus from the game on Inkwell Isle 2, next to Beppy the Clown's level, I think it was. You go up some stairs, and this face in this water shows up, and it tells you how many times you've actually died in the game. So this show follows that idea where Quadratus is kind of someone who knows all and rhymes as well. So Quadratus tells Cuphead and Mugman about this invisible sweater that can defend from the devil taking your soul. And Mugman is tasked with knitting the invisible sweater for Cuphead. It needs to be knitted with like brotherly love or something like that. As well, he did like some rhyme. I don't remember the exact rhyme, but it said something about a hug or brotherly hug as well, which I don't know. I didn't catch all of it. But anyways, meanwhile, at the devil's party once again, this stickler worker character continues to remind the devil that Cuphead's soul still hasn't been taken yet. And the devil tries to... and then with that, the devil gets super annoyed with Stickler and goes up to try and take Cuphead's soul, but the invisible sweater does in fact work, blocking the devil from taking it. The devil continues to try and convince Cuphead to take off the sweater in multiple different ways throughout the episode. There was like free hot dogs that were like devil hot dogs. Then there was like some carnival showing or something like that, but it was no sweaters allowed. But Mugman kept Cuphead in check and made him keep the sweater on. So the devil finally stops Cuphead and Mugman from escaping the forest, and he's just kind of like going insane at this point. The devil uses his fire to try and make Cuphead take off the sweater because it becomes hotter and hotter. And when Cuphead does not take off the sweater, the devil has a bit of a meltdown as Cuphead and Mugman escape. The devil goes back down to his underworld and tells his workers that he finally got Cuphead's soul when he didn't, and the devil makes Stickler recount all the souls he has ever trapped ever because he doesn't want to deal with them anymore. And that was our episode. That was part one of our sweater episodes, I guess. So yeah, it was a good start, and I think maybe part two is better. No, actually, this part may have been better than part two, but this one was still good. This one was still really good. Now we are on to episode 9, which is part 2 of these sweater episodes, and this one is called Sweater Luck Next Time. Of course, play on better luck next time. So we start off with the devil, who is angry at his throne because he does not have Cuphead's soul. And the devil does not need to have Stickler finding out about that and having to deal with Stickler the whole time. So the devil tries to take Cuphead's soul in a montage throughout the episode, or in the episode, as Mugman continues to tell Cuphead that he has to keep the sweater on. Mugman then sees a newspaper ad of a new carnival ride called the Obliterator, which can tear the clothes off of anybody. I think it was like the selling line, I guess. I don't know what you would call it. So Cuphead and Mugman, of course, very big fans of the carnival and carnival rides, decide that they are going to leave to go jump on the Obliterator. But just as they're about to leave, the devil is standing in their doorway. Cuphead and Mugman get angry, actually frustrated at the devil of all people, because they want to keep the devil under wraps from Elder Kettle. That rhymes. Didn't plan that. I rhyme a lot in my channel here, but they want to keep the devil under wraps and out of Elder Kettle's worry, I guess. So the devil doesn't. Basically they strike a deal. I think it was, and Cuphead and Mugman will, if they're allowed to ride, if the devil paints the fence, then Cuphead will give the devil his soul. So the devil doesn't know how to paint the fence, and Cuphead and Mugman call him out on it, and the devil decides to use his magic to paint the fence, while Cuphead and Mugman go to the pier and escape from the devil's sight, I guess, to go ride the Obliterator ride, which has a really long line. So the devil continues to paint the fence in this whole, scene, I guess, with his magic, then notices Cuphead and Mugman actually left. Turns out, Cuphead took off the invisible sweater, which we find out from Mugman talking to Cuphead about it. And the devil shows up to Cuphead, where Cuphead and Mugman are, but he doesn't know that Cuphead took off his sweater already. The devil decides to join Cuphead and Mugman in riding the Obliterator because he remembers his henchman telling him about the ad in the newspaper, which was about the Obliterator tearing the clothes off of anybody, or whatever it was. So, while Mugman goes to find the invisible sweater which Cuphead took off, Cuphead and the devil decide to wait in line. Cuphead seems to, at first, annoy the devil with his jokes, but the devil begins to start liking Cuphead, and his jokes. And he finally, pats Cuphead on his back, and notices he isn't wearing the sweater. And just as he is about to take Cuphead's soul, Mugman quickly swoops in, and throws the sweater on the devil, continuously electrocuting him and saving the day. And that's really it. So that was the end of this like sweater episode, this sweater series or two-part episode. But these two episodes were a lot of fun. The next episode on the list is episode 10, which is Dangerous Mugman. Another episode that I wasn't too crazy about, although it was a lot of fun to have an episode that involved Pork Rind from Pork Rind's Emporium. So basically, we begin with apparently Pork Rind secures like black market goods or something like that, like grenades, and I think he had like gunpowder and stuff like that for like this shady character who buys the stuff from him. And Pork Rind's trying to keep a low profile. And, nobody can know about what he's been doing here. And Cuphead and Mugman quickly burst into the Emporium very loudly and, scream his name. So, Cuphead and Mugman are there to spend all of their, like, chore money on an arcade game in Pork Rind's Emporium. And Pork Rind gets very quickly super annoyed by Cuphead and Mugman and just being loud. Mugman's just constantly talking and not stopping while Cuphead just keeps playing this game. And he has like this very weird thing, like he daydreams about destroying them, which was kind of weird, cutting off their heads. I was like, oh man, or destroying their heads, which was kind of weird. But anyways, in order to get some peace and quiet, Pork Rind sends Cuphead and Mugman to go pick something up on a dangerous mission to get them out of his Emporium, so he doesn't have to be annoyed anymore. And he sends them to Mount Eruptus, I think it was. So Mugman, who's generally kind of more of a scaredy cat, kind of a scared guy, is scared of this dangerous mission. But Cuphead gives Mugman his dangerous goggles, which gives Mugman a little bit of confidence to do this mission. So when they're heading off to Mount Eruptus, Mugman, with his new goggles and his new confidence, decides to take the dangerous boat, which is just a few planks of wood all brought together, instead of the proper regular boat to get to the mountain. Mount Eruptus. So they go down this waterfall, and their boat gets destroyed and things like that. When they come up from the water, Mugman doesn't have his goggles on because an alligator comes up and eats his goggles. But Mugman still thinks that he is wearing them, so he still has this confidence. So Cuphead and Mugman walk through like this foresty or jungly kind of area, with Mugman very confident, while Cuphead's kind of behind him, taking all like the damage and everything like that from all the creatures on this island. And this is also another instance where there was a real life model mixed with animation, which I noticed and thought was which was pretty cool to see. So Cuphead and Mugman finally kind of reach Mount Eruptus and travel up the side of the mountain and see an egg, which they believe is this delicate package that Pork Rind sent them on to go get. So Cuphead and Mugman, they fall off the edge of the mountain, and Mugman holds on, with Cuphead holding on to his foot. And Cuphead tells Mugman that he lost the goggles, and Mugman immediately loses his confidence, and they both fall into the nest where the egg is. Mugman then becomes super confident again after realizing that he did all this confident stuff on his own without the goggles, so he doesn't need them. And as he's becoming super confident and tries to bring the egg down, the mountain, or Mount Eruptus, begins to erupt, as its name says. So then Cuphead and Mugman finally reach back to Pork Rind's Emporium. They burst back into it with this delicate egg package all wrapped up, and Pork Rind was really confused because they'd been gone for 3 days when he really wanted them to go not to Mount Eruptus, but to Mount Eruptus Cleaners instead, to go pick up his dry cleaning, it seems like. But, they gave him an egg instead for Mount Eruptus. So Mugman decides that he wants to play the arcade game, and Pork Rind gets super angry and tells Cuphead and Mugman to just take the game home so he doesn't have to get annoyed again anymore. So while he goes back to his spot in his Emporium, he's kind of confused. He's like, oh man, what did they actually get me? So he opens up the little package, and it is an egg which hatches into a dragon, and then the actual parent of this baby dragon comes back and burns Pork Rind's Emporium to the ground, where the final line is, "I hate those cups," which was from the trailer, of course. So, yeah, that one, I mean, it was a fun little adventure, but it wasn't, compared to some of the other episodes, wasn't my favorite. This is a very mid episode for me. Next, we have episode 11 called Dirt Nap. This is the weirdest of the Cuphead episodes, I think. This one was just, like, really weird. It was alright, I guess, but it was definitely a weird one. So basically, Elder Kettle goes up to Cuphead and Mugman's room to tell Cuphead and Mugman that breakfast is ready. While Elder Kettle is at the door, he overhears Cuphead say Elder Kettle is disgusting. Well, he says he is disgusting, not Elder Kettle specifically. So Elder Kettle is of course hurt by this and uses a shiner, like a metal shiner, to make himself look not disgusting anymore. So he has the shiner on, and Cuphead and Mugman are really confused, and it's very shiny. So they take their breakfast back up to their rooms, and after Elder Kettle tries to prove to the boys that he's still young, he's not old anymore, and he's not disgusting and all that stuff. But it doesn't really work out, and he ends up having a plant pot full of dirt fall onto him, getting rid of his shine. So Elder Kettle sneaks back to Cuphead and Mugman's door to overhear them say that Elder Kettle might not be okay. He hears Cuphead and Mugman say that they are going to send Elder Kettle away as well. So Elder Kettle gets freaked out with this. He doesn't want to be sent away. So Cuphead and Mugman are confused with Elder Kettle's actions as Elder Kettle tries to prove that he's not old and that he doesn't need to be sent away. So Elder Kettle then peers into Cuphead and Mugman's window and hears them say that they might have to put him out of his misery, which is like, I was like, oh my god. But we quickly learned that Cuphead and Mugman were talking about their pet worm and not Elder Kettle. So Cuphead and Mugman keep talking about killing their worm, but Elder Kettle continues to think that Cuphead and Mugman are going to try and kill him. Elder Kettle is apparently a decorated war hero, which I didn't know from the game, I guess. I don't think that was really something that they touched upon there, but good to know now, I guess. And he prepares to fight back against Cuphead and Mugman. So Cuphead and Mugman's worm comes back to life after they bury him in the dirt, and then the worm walks or whatever, goes away. And when they walk back into the house, Cuphead and Mugman, Elder Kettle has set traps around the house to catch both of the boys and most likely kill them. So Elder Kettle is like ready to fight Cuphead and Mugman because he thinks that Cuphead and Mugman are planning to kill him because he's too old and like gross or something. And when he's about to walk down the stairs, he falls down the stairs on his own grease trap that he set, and he ends up just getting caught in all of his traps. And Cuphead, there was this whole scene. Oh man, I forget what that song is called or the music is called. But basically, it's just Elder Kettle going back and forth across the screen in slow motion, getting blown up by different explosions and just sent to the other side of the room. So basically, the point is he's the one that set off all of his own traps. Cuphead and Mugman make sure that he's okay and tell Elder Kettle about the pet worm, that it wasn't about him, it was about their pet worm who was gross and dying. Elder Kettle is, he's like, oh, well, that's good, and then he falls into his own spike trap again. And they end the episode with Cuphead and Mugman saying, well, we gotta bury him or something like that, which was kind of dark, little dark. So this episode is really weird, really dark, and it's not one of my particular favorites. This one kind of rides the line between a mid-episode and a bad episode, or not a bad episode, but a more least favorite episode, I think. Now we are on the final episode of the season, the Cuphead Show Season 1 finale, Episode 12, In Charm's Way. Course, in harm's way, in harm's way. So, to start off, Cuphead and Mugman are looking around the house for a cookie jar, and they decide to check out Elder Kettle's bedroom, where the cookie jar is right above where Elder Kettle is sleeping. Cuphead and Mugman try to get this cookie jar and end up breaking Elder Kettle's glasses, and now they need to go fix them before Elder Kettle notices. While Elder Kettle searches for his glasses around the house, blind, I guess, Cuphead and Mugman go to the city, to an optical, I think they're called, to fix the glasses. You gotta get them fixed for Elder Kettle. So, while this optical is fixing the glasses, Miss Chalice walks in with a song. And of course, Miss Chalice is the legendary Chalice character as like an actual walking person instead of just a spirit. And she's going to be the third DLC character, or not third DLC, but extra DLC playable character to use when in the new DLC, which is coming out in July, I think, which is super exciting. So, Miss Chalice, like I said, walks in with a song, doing a little tap dance and everything, and it turns out Miss Chalice is being hunted by the police because she's been using her charm and tap dancing throughout the city to get free stuff from people, which works pretty well, it seems. Cuphead and Mugman follow Miss Chalice and end up in an alleyway, and Miss Chalice interrogates them, like, what are you guys doing here? Why are you following me this whole time? And Cuphead and Mugman basically explain that they want, the cookie jar, and they need Miss Chalice's help. So Miss Chalice sings a song about how she gets free stuff with her charm, which the song was a lot of fun. That whole part was a lot of fun of the episode here. And now, after singing this song, Miss Chalice tests Cuphead and Mugman by making them use their charm on a cookie factory guard so they can get in, but it doesn't really seem to work until Miss Chalice comes in to help them out to get inside. Miss Chalice then powers up the factory to get the unlimited cookies going, but accidentally flicks the silent alarm without noticing. Cuphead and Mugman eat way too many cookies and are not able to escape, but Miss Chalice turns into a ghost and is able to get out. So now, Cuphead and Mugman are arrested by the police, and we get a to be continued sign at the end of the episode. Mind you, this is the final episode of the season, so there's got to be a season 2 of the Cuphead Show to see what happens here. So that is really exciting. Let's just start off with that, this cliffhanger finale ending where Cuphead and Mugman are arrested, because that means season 2 is gonna happen. It's gotta happen, and that is super exciting. Alright, so that was my Cuphead Show video, I guess. So overall, the show as a whole was a lot of fun, as I explained in the beginning of the video here. It really was. A lot of the episodes were really, really good. Some of them were, a little goofy, something like that, but I would definitely love to see a season 2 of this show, and it seems like we will probably be getting one sometime in the future, especially with that cliffhanger ending. We gotta see what happens to Cuphead and Mugman after they get arrested for sneaking into a cookie factory because of Miss Chalice. So it's definitely gonna happen. Season 2, definitely gonna happen. I don't know when. It'll probably be a few years from now, I would think. But yeah, I'm excited to be continuing with this show or watching this show for season 2, and I like doing these kind of like TV show videos where I kind of break down the episodes. And I haven't done one in a while really, so this is a perfect chance for me to do it with all 12 of these episodes here. And overall, again, like I said, really, really great show. I would highly recommend watching it. Just, maybe you're doing something, you want to have it on in the background, something like that. Again, they're really, really quick episodes. They go by in a flash. So, yeah. That's my review or breakdown, whatever you want to call it, of the Cuphead Show, all 12 episodes. So if you enjoyed that video, do the common YouTube stuff, like, comment, and subscribe, and I will see you guys later.